broadcasting from an undisclosed location in the heart of Dixie. I am Michael, and I'm here with Liberty Larry.
How's it going?
Doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good.
Did you have a good week off?
It was all right. I survived it.
That's good.
It's always the best.
Yeah. Another day above ground or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a guy tell me today he woke up on the right side of the dirt, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
So
this is one of those things that's starting to strike me a little bit because I'll be 50 this year. And I realize sometimes that I don't think of myself as being that old.
I don't think anybody does. I
felt like my dad did. Like,
okay,
my dad seemed to complain about being old before I thought he was old. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I try not to complain about the being old thing to my kids too much, but it happens because I am old.
Yeah. Well, I notice things like I will like in my head when I'm describing people in a room, or when I'm thinking about something in retrospect, I'm like, oh, and there was that old couple that was standing over there, blah blah blah, and then if it registers, I'm like, actually, I'm probably older than them.
Yeah.
Like these people that in my head I thought of as old people.
As old people, yeah.
Are probably younger than me.
Yeah.
And so there's a real disconnect there.
Yeah. I feel like that's because I have that same type problem. Is probably the reason that I think that's maybe more common than it is. But I mean, I definitely can feel that. So did you hear Dolly Parton died?
I did. I found that out today.
Oh, you found out today?
Yeah, because I kept having Dolly Parton stuff pop up in my feeds everywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought that's unusual.
It is unusual.
And so then I was like, wait, did she die or something? And I looked it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, she died a couple of days ago at 80.
It was a couple of days ago. Yeah, it was when I was off last, so it was Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah, that's too bad.
It is. So people who follow the Facebook.
Sorry for your loss notes to Dr. Miller.
Yeah. People who follow the page may think that. So I shared something today. So Dolly Parton was very ugly to us during the pandemic. I remember this. She called everybody that didn't get the vaccine chicken squat, and was very mean to our side of that.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate it. So I shared something about that on the Facebook page today. Yeah. And I don't particularly dislike Dolly Parton. I always liked her. But I'm not going to forget the stuff that happened during the pandemic.
Well, you kind of have to wonder now, did she already have cancer then? Yeah. If she had cancer then, I can see her being particularly concerned.
Pushy about and I don't have a problem, and I feel like I've said this ad nauseum, but I don't have a problem with anybody taking the vaccine or thinking that was the right thing for them to do. Mm-hmm. The bullying to make other people take it is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
And she was guilty of that, so I'm not going to forget that.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I understand. I'm not going to hold that too strongly against her at this point.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
She's not even close to the only one. Half of the country was like that.
Well, yeah, but that's almost kind of my point, though, is that we don't need to forget that we went through that and all of that happened.
Well, we're still paying a price for COVID and probably will for decades.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that you could. It was one of those events that you could restart the calendar on.
Yeah.
We could be living in 5 AC right now or something.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely certain times and events that change the course. 9/11 is the one I always think of because that was really the one of my time. Mm-hmm. Was I mean, it was I graduated right before 9/11, and it was like I say, that was a turning point. Partly because I had graduated high school and was going on to the next chapter of my life, and then the world changed.
Yeah.
And COVID's the same way. Once
I think COVID had more of an impact
I agree. I 100%. But those are the ones
this country.
Those are the ones I can compare though, because I actually like lived through.
Yeah.
I guess I lived through other ones, but they weren't. They didn't affect me in the same way.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if we learned any lessons from either one of those events.
Oh, we haven't. There's
you're totally
I'm pessimistic on this.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for a lot of reasons, because anytime I bring up COVID stuff on the Facebook page or in any of the groups or whatnot, everybody wants to like push it down and forget about it and act like it didn't happen. And I was like, well, we're not gonna we're ripe for this to happen again if we don't acknowledge that what happened the first time.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to talk about some stuff today that kind of leads us into some of the flock stuff.
Yeah. Actually, my first note for today, and this was just like a thought that I jotted down, but it can definitely be applied to our big topics for the day, I guess, is that like we have this system. Now, of course, our opposition generally is to government, like asserting control over things that they shouldn't. And like I was thinking about it actually at the time in terms of healthcare. Like, I don't want to dig too deeply into healthcare because that just deserves its own podcast, and it's gotten one already from us. So but that there's a real problem of healthcare costs in this country. And I place a lot of the blame on government interference in the market. Yeah. In the healthcare market.
Rightly so.
And so, for example, Medicare, Medicaid, they have allowed amounts. There's a real issue. This was something that I wrote about when I worked for the ambulance company, is that there's a bunch of services that ambulances perform that Medicare's payment for that service is less than it costs to actually perform the service.
Yeah.
Right? So every time you do this service, and it's a Medicare patient, you lose money. Yeah. And with
hard to run a business that way.
Yeah. And so you have to make up for it by charging other, like higher prices to other insurance services.
Yeah.
Which has the net effect of driving up price for the service everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to be able to make money, or you can't maintain a business. And if the government wasn't involved, then everybody's costs would be lower, because there's more than just like the government paying less for a service than it costs. You also have this like tremendous amount of paperwork that you have to do. Like a lot of offices were paying maybe even multiples. Like our service was I worked for a pretty small ambulance service. We only ran 3 or 4 trucks at a time.
Yeah.
But like we had a person that we probably would not have needed at all if it weren't for just the government paperwork.
The bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
had a bureaucrat.
Yeah. And I imagine that larger services had multiple people that they wouldn't have needed to hire at all, that those people could have been doing something more productive than just filling out paperwork to turn into the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, the company has to pay for those people.
Oh, yeah. And that
adds to your costs.
That's a cost.
So that's overhead that has to be taken care of, with your revenue every month. Anyway, and then of course there's professional organizations that levy the power of government to create other reductions of competition. Like, people use government in the healthcare, well, in every industry actually, but like particularly in the healthcare industry and some other stuff, financial stuff and so forth, to prevent competition. You got the certificate of need stuff in a lot of states. There's a whole bunch of things that reduce the amount of services available and reduce the amount of competition for those services.
I mean, the best thing you can do if any business you're in is if you can leverage the government to eliminate your competition. Like that's good for your business.
Yes. Yeah. Or create a really high barrier to entry to just like prevent very many competitors from entering the market in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of ways that it's done. And so I was thinking, And with the ambulance, like you at that time, and it's probably changed, and it varies from state to state too. I was in Georgia at the time. You would make an agreement to be a Medicare or a Medicaid provider.
Yeah.
And part of the agreement was that you would accept what they paid for the service, and what their allowed amount was, and you wouldn't ask for more than what they allowed from the patients, and you accepted the payment and so on, and you couldn't turn people down because they were patients of Medicare or Medicaid, or you wouldn't have access to that patient pool.
Yeah.
Which is a significant number of people.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
And so that was the agreement, but there was, as I got out of that industry, there were getting to be more and more people that wouldn't sign on as a Medicare or Medicaid provider because of the
It's the same way.
costs.
It's the same way. I mean, my wife's in the industry. I'm not, but it's the same way with doctors' offices, whether or not they'll take Medicaid and Medicare or not versus, I mean, some offices just won't take it because they don't want to deal with it.
And there's a move towards this concierge stuff.
Yeah. One of her doctors' last day was today, and that's that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. So you just have your patients pay a subscription fee essentially.
Yep.
And the insurance is irrelevant.
The problem is the problem with that system is you only get access to him.
Yeah.
You're not getting access. Like if you get in a car wreck and got to go to the hospital or something, I mean, he may come up there and see you, but like you got to pay for all of that.
Yeah.
Out of pocket.
Yeah. Unless you have an insurance. And
Unless you're carrying both,
Yeah.
which, like I say, talking to my wife, so what a lot of the patients are doing is they're going to him and going to do like the concierge thing, but they're going to keep their regular insurance.
Yeah.
So they're going to pay that monthly subscription on top of keeping their insurance.
Yeah, but
which
their
is
insurance is probably going to be like Medicare or something that is
It may
government
be.
subsidized, and so they don't have to pay as much for it anyway.
For a lot of people, it may be, but it's still they're adding. They're adding a bill either way, though.
Yeah, that's true, but like you got to think, you reach an age where you have medical problems consistently enough that concierge service is worth.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're that age,
Yeah.
you probably have Medicare.
That's probably true. I mean, I hadn't thought about that, but you're probably right. I mean, that's, it's interesting.
But so here was my kind of generalization, though, as I was thinking about these things, is that government will monopolize a service, fail to provide that service effectively, and then take greater control over that industry.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the thing we've talked about a lot that government tends to do is the failing up.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's not so much failing up, it's like failing into more control.
Yeah. And the industry, for lack of a better term, that I started thinking about specifically when I started thinking about it in these terms, that government, starts to monopolize a service, fails miserably, then takes greater control over the service, is education.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about this because when Mom and I were coming back from Ohio, we listened to a little bit of the No Agenda show.
Yeah.
And she was surprised to find that No Agenda is generally pro-Trump.
Yeah.
And she said, but you talk about that, like you promote that show on your show. I was like, because it's a great show.
It is a good show.
And I don't have to agree with the people that I promote. Like, I still think that it has a lot of value, that show.
Yeah.
I think it has lost some value with John C. Dvorak having passed, but I still think that it has a lot of value. And so, I promote the show even though I disagree with it in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, they get a lot of stuff right, but they're very pro-Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the insight. Like, I go to them to figure out find out what the news is talking about, mainstream media is talking about. And
it's a far superior way of doing it than actually listening to the mainstream
Yeah,
news.
I can't stand that.
Yeah. It's way better to find out from No Agenda what's going on at CNN than it is to watch CNN.
And there's often good analysis anyway about like how they're promoting it and where they're, propagandizing or leaving out information that's relevant or whatever. They tend to be pretty good at that stuff.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate what they're doing. But then she asked me like why I don't like Trump.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of answers for that, of course, like mostly foreign policy stuff, which also falls into this same category.
Yeah.
Local and international security is another service that government has monopolized, failed at, and then taken greater control of.
Yeah.
Although those services are both like completely monopolized by government, really.
Anyway, yeah.
But like one of the things that I thought about is like, okay, there's probably never going to be a president that I like. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't like Trump. I didn't like Biden. I didn't like Trump particularly in the first term, although I was excited before he entered office.
Yeah.
Then, even though I still didn't vote for him even then, but then he definitely failed me in a lot of ways in the first term. I didn't like Obama. I didn't like Bush. I mean, like as far back as I can remember caring about this stuff at all, I haven't liked our presidents. And I thought, like, maybe here's the litmus test.
Okay.
If a presidential candidate says they're going to abolish the Department of Education,
Yep.
and then when they enter office, they actually do that.
That'll be a sign.
Yeah. Then I might like start turning.
Well, and think back
to support them.
Trump's last campaign. There was a lot of talk about abolishing agencies.
Yeah. And Department of Education was on the top of that list.
Was one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
But has none of that's happened.
No.
And it's not even discussed anymore.
Nope.
And it's not even like brought up.
I got elected. Now I don't need to follow my good promises anyway.
Yeah. And that's been Trump this term.
Yeah.
Right. Through and through.
So I think that's my new litmus test. If you promise to abolish the Department of Education and you actually do it. And this is one of those like really...
And that should be an easy one to eliminate because It hasn't been around forever.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been about 50 years.
Has it been that many?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess I'm almost 40 or I'm over 40. So yeah, I guess that is about right. Because it was sometime in the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that is about right.
Yeah, that's the one. And education is such a good one as an example of this because the costs of education have gone up and up and up.
Yeah.
And
man, I saw some graphs from that one a while back of like just the increase since the Department of Education and like it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and for a worse education. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the most important bit there is that the value of what has come out has been lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And despite all the extra programs to try and pick it up, the No Child Left Behind and the like, what's the one Bill Gates one that I really hate? I mean, like your kids came up through that.
Oh, the Common Core.
Yeah, Common Core.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I talked a lot of trash about that when I was running for Board of Education.
Yeah.
A lot of trash.
It was really bad.
But you have kids that are they're not capable of reading. There's been some good evidence that if you get rid of the standardized tests, that students actually perform better.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is that there's such a pressure about the scores on standardized tests that systems teach to the tests instead of just teaching.
Yeah, we're watching through The Wire right now, and like
season 4 of The Wire.
Yeah, that's a big part of that season is them like completely like turning the curriculum upside down because the test is coming up, and we've got to have them ready for the test. And this show does a really good job of illustrating what that looks like in the classroom.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, they're actually like turning all the classes into test prep.
Yeah.
Like give up. You're not doing your curriculum anymore. What you're doing is you're teaching the tests. You're doing test questions. This is all you're doing. This is what we've got to do.
Yeah. Because
we need our funding.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we can continue to fail.
So that we can do this again next year.
Yeah. And that's one of the big problems, of course, with just government funded anything is that the incentives get turned upside down where and like standardized tests are actually a counterexample of this because the thing is that if you do poorly on the standardized tests you get less money. But for the most part, which actually just digs bad systems into bigger holes.
Into the hole, yeah. Exactly.
But for the most part, in government-funded stuff, the failure is seen as a problem of capital.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if we just had more money, then we could do better.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I pointed out over and over again when I was running for Board of Education is that I did a statistical comparison of the costs of private schools in the area and the per student cost that the public schools were claiming.
Yeah.
And showed that the public schools were actually had a higher per student cost for a lesser quality education.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're all paying for that.
Yeah. But the thing is that they're still going back there and saying, well, the problem is that we don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And what they do is they hire more administrators instead of better teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like most of our, like I hear it at the beginning of the school years all the time now from people around me is that, it's so expensive to send your kid to public school. There's all these things that you have to buy, all these materials that you have to buy to send your kid to public school. Like that stuff was provided when I was a kid. I mean, there were some things that you had to buy.
Yeah.
But like almost every classroom thing, it seems like now the students have to contribute to.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was when my kids were smaller. My kids aren't that small anymore, so it's not the same. I feel like that shifted some, though, with the computers. Now that they're not doing as much gluing and coloring because everything's on a screen. My kids aren't...
That's a new complaint. That's a different complaint that I have. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we can get on that one. And like I said, my kids aren't that age anymore, so I may be talking a little bit outside of what I know, but I know I do work in retail, and I do know we did not sell the school supplies this year we normally do.
Yeah,
like of the stuff I just mentioned, like crayons and glue and stuff. Like there's just not as much of that moving out the door. So I don't know.
So let's.
But I can find now. I'll do some. We can talk about that next week, and I'll ask around a little bit.
Okay.
Find out what school lists look like this year because I'm curious. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Then, like I said, the security thing is the other big issue of government monopolization and poor quality of service.
Yeah.
And the local security thing kind of leads us into the flock stuff. And
yeah,
this is one of those.
I mean, they're putting these things up for our safety. I don't understand why people don't realize this. They're catching criminals by looking at everybody's license plate.
Yeah, sarcasm doesn't go well in audio only.
I'm just
they don't see your air quotes.
Making my case over here for why we need these flock cameras.
I saw a clip today on YouTube. I think it was in San Diego area. This guy going to speak at a city council meeting in support of flock cameras in a Darth Vader.
So the Vader one, I've seen that one. Except was
he wasn't very good though. I didn't think that he made. I don't know. I thought
he could have refined it down a little bit because I saw that. Yeah.
That clip that you put on a few weeks ago of the guy in Pensacola that came to complain about his ticket.
Yeah.
That was a much better city council presentation.
It was. Yeah.
Much better.
Well, that's the reason I shared it to the page because I was like, people need to see this. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I did too. I liked that one. He read a little. I mean, you don't have a lot of time, so you do need to get.
You
got to
get through it. Yeah.
So he read a little fast and he read the whole thing. It would have been a better presentation if he had
memorized it and been able to,
or not memorized it, but known what because I've done, public
speaking.
I don't have a script.
No.
I had done that before. It doesn't work that because you do end up kind of just reading.
Yeah.
And that's not compelling to people that are watching.
Yeah.
So here's your tip of the day from the Liberty Mike on public speaking. Yeah. Actually, I think the best public speaking advice I got was from a friend of mine in high school. And he said, just have a real good idea of the kinds of things that you want to say and use a lot of big words.
Yeah.
You don't have to use a lot of big words, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. Necessarily. It depends on how many big words you use and which words they are.
Yeah.
But generally what I do now is that I have some points.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I do notes for this podcast too. Yeah. I have some points of things that I want to address, and then I just start talking about them.
I mean, so I've done a little. I'm not a good public speaker, horrible at it. But the way I've done it when I have is exactly what you just laid out. I like bullet points of things I want to talk about, and just pretty well go down the list of bullet points. And like when I kind of feel like I've finished with one, like jump to the next one. I've got them there to look at to remind me, because I'll forget.
Yeah.
And because when I'm public speaking, like I'm speaking on something I'm well versed in.
Yeah.
So I can, if I've got the bullet points there, like I can go from there.
This is an important point, actually. You do need to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I try to. Yeah. So anyway,
an additional part of the hint for
yeah. It's really hard to get up and talk about something
that you don't really know
about. Yeah.
Some people are really good at it, though.
Some people are better than others. I've met some people that are the masters.
Yeah.
So
the bullshit artist.
Yes, exactly.
That doesn't go well if somebody else knows what you're talking about.
Well, especially the audience in general, like can go sideways.
At any rate, the COVID or the flock camera thing. I'm coming back to COVID on this. That's why I keep thinking of COVID.
Yeah.
And here, No Agenda is another example. I think on the most recent episode that I listened to, Adam was back on, and he was saying, like, you don't need to worry about these flock cameras surveilling you. You're carrying around your surveillance device. It's Google and Apple and all these companies that are actually surveilling you.
That argument really irritates me.
And I'm going to tear that apart right now.
Good.
Because that's a ridiculous argument. Yeah. I have nothing to fear from Google or Apple or whatever. Google or Apple can't do anything to me. They don't have any kind of authoritative power over me. They do not have a monopoly on the legal use of force like a government does.
Well, I was going to say, so far, they don't have their own prison system.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing to bear in mind here, that we're not, and they don't have their own military that they can conscript me into or anything like that. Like, there's no reason for, like, I can switch to Android.
Exactly. I choose whether I'm going to use their products or not.
Yeah.
I don't have that choice with the government. Exactly. I am forced to use their product, whether I want it or not.
Yeah.
The best thing I can do is move somewhere else.
Yeah. Driving on their roads, like, them's the only roads available.
Yeah. So there's a tremendous difference between government keeping an eye on me and a business keeping an eye on me. The reason for it is very different too.
Yeah.
The business is keeping an eye on me because they want to offer me things that I will buy.
Yeah. Exactly.
They want to give me things that I want.
Yeah.
That's their real goal in surveilling me.
Yeah.
What's the government's role in surveilling me? What's their goal? What do they want out of this?
Yeah.
They want control.
Yeah.
And you can make a case that, like, determining what my purchasing patterns are or whatever, that, maybe the corporation has some ability to do with surveillance. Like, okay, that's a measure of control too, but that's still something that I get to choose.
Yeah. And it is frustrating, and I have a problem with it because I just used the example I can switch to Android, but the truth is Android's doing it too.
Yeah.
So but I can turn it off completely if I choose to. Now it sucks; it makes my life more difficult, so I don't do it.
Yeah.
But the option is available.
Go to a dumb phone, like that's actually not so bad. So you don't get alerts about what the Alabama football team is doing or what. Who cares?
So, and there was a time I didn't do it, but I had considered switching to the dumb phone and just buying like a tablet and keeping the tablet at the house for when I wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And not traveling with it, and just have that way. I have that option to look up stuff and to have things, but not have it tracking everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And
this is one of those situations where if it was actually a government service that was doing this, what they're doing with the flock cameras, it would be struck down in court everywhere. Yeah. Like, it's one of those Fourth Amendment violations. Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons that the government is prohibited by the Constitution from doing that kind of tracking. Yeah. And there's been Supreme Court cases that had issues with the phone tracking using location data and so forth when the government's doing it.
Yeah.
That have said that that's like an unreasonable search and seizure because it's generalized.
Yeah.
And so even the courts who generally side with the government have said that this kind of like really open surveillance thing is a problem.
Oh, yeah.
That the government is prohibited from doing by the laws of this nation.
Yeah.
So what they have decided to do is to use private companies to do it instead.
Yeah.
They're just outsourcing to private companies,
which is what
the services that are, or the tasks that are prohibited to the government.
Yeah. Which is part of what our Pensacola guy was complaining about.
Right.
Was that he was being fined by, I forget what the guy's name was, Jose or somebody. And, but it's a third party. Mm-hmm. And it's basically a third party using the force of government to make you pay.
Right.
I mean, and it's crazy. And it gets it, and the other end of it is it gets it wrong. It doesn't always get it right.
Yeah. And for those who haven't seen this guy was complaining about some automated camera or whatever sending him a ticket.
And I know what camera he's talking about. I've drove past it in Pensacola. My GPS thing tells me every time I pass it.
That's funny. Well, good for your GPS.
Yeah.
And the issue was that at the time he was in another place.
Yeah, he wasn't there. Yeah.
And his biggest complaint was that the difference between a cop stopping you and issuing you a ticket and a camera issuing you a ticket based on your license plate number is that the cop verifies that the person that they're giving the ticket to is the person that actually committed the offense.
Yeah. And they witnessed the offense. It's not like a camera shot you taking it and then yeah. Like you get to you're able to confront your accuser like in real time.
Yeah. And obviously the flock cameras are doing far more than just like keeping an eye on things. Yeah. And it's like one of the things that you can look at is, and this is something that comes up over and over again with local law enforcement, is that they're way more concerned with protecting the government than they are with protecting you. This has been a theme of the show. We've pointed this out over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing here. Like they can't get vagrants off the street. They can't get kids out of adults out of the park shooting up drugs. They can't get any of this. They can't handle any of this. The flock camera doesn't help with any of that, apparently.
Yeah.
But they will not spare no expense in trying to find the person who tore down the flock camera.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And this is, I think this to me is akin to the modern day journalist who the way they do journalism is by trolling Twitter.
Yeah.
Or X, excuse me.
Yeah.
X, formerly known as Twitter. Are we still using that?
Sure.
And so this is the same kind of thing. Well, the cop doesn't want to get out there and actually like find crime. So this is a real easy way to do it.
Yeah.
I'll just sit back and look at the video footage.
Yeah. And maybe I'll see what my ex-girlfriend's up to while I'm at it.
Well, there's that too. And just to remind everybody, those that say that this is not a big deal as long as you're not doing anything wrong. No. Let's remember just a few years ago in COVID when it was considered wrong to leave your house.
Go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah, no going to church. And just think if this technology had been implemented in the way it is now then. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could very easily lock people down in a way that just wasn't possible a few years ago.
Right.
This is extremely dangerous.
We cannot forget the COVID times.
No, and that's like, I will keep harping on it as long as I'm breathing, that COVID, like as soon as we let our guard down, this will come back. We have got to keep it talked about and out there. And to your point about the going after the guy that cut down the flock camera, I'm curious to see how things go in the next few years here. But I think they're going to, as more and more people are cutting these things down, I think they're going to have trouble getting juries and grand juries to convict these people.
Yeah.
I mean, they are so unpopular. I mean, I think that's going to become a challenge.
Yeah, making this statement on the air is going to prevent me from ever being on a grand jury again.
Yeah.
But if I was on a grand jury, I would make an absolute point of the Fourth Amendment anytime something like this came up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be like, I think that it's totally illegal for the government to be using these cameras to identify anybody for anything. So
yeah. And that guy was with me. He was not cutting down flock cameras. So I don't know why y'all got me up here trying to convict
I know that guy. He would never do such a thing.
He would never do that.
He was with me that day.
Exactly. So, but jury nullification is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an instance, at least where we sit right now, where I think that could come into play here.
I hope so.
I worry though, because right now, like where we sit right now, like it's pretty universal, left, right, whatever, is against these things.
Well, no, that's not true though. There are people on the. It's not a partisan issue right now.
Yeah, that's
really
the
what you're
point
saying.
I'm making.
It's not a partisan issue. There are people
Yeah.
on the left and people on the right that are opposed to these things, but there
Yeah.
are plenty of people that are for them too.
There are. You're not wrong about that. Well, I mean that satire argument I made at the beginning, I hear a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's not me just making that up. Like I get that sped out to me more than I would like.
Yeah.
But I mean I feel like the majority is against them though. It's a small minority that are for them. But
I
there
don't think
are
it's that small.
They're out there.
I mean, I would like to have said that about forced vaccinations and so forth, but I don't think it was true.
Well, it was not true. I mean, that just wasn't true, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's you were.
I think you have too much faith in people in terms of the flock cameras. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, another tool for police to catch criminals.
There absolutely are those people. I'm not saying that there's not, but I just think they're the minority. I from what I
think they're
see,
a minority. I don't think they're a small minority.
Okay, I mean that may be fair. That may be fair.
I don't know. Has there been any polling on this? I don't know.
Oh, the polls are. I mean, the polling I've seen. I'd need to look, but I feel like I've seen polling that's pretty strong against, but. But it'd be interesting to look up. Too bad I don't have.
Well, let's shift from local law enforcement to international security.
All right.
We may as well talk about the wars again. Can't seem to get away from it.
Well, I mean, there's
constantly something happening.
Where
are we in the cycle?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. There's a new wrinkle in the cycle every week or two.
Oh, actually, you know what? Before we move on, because talking about international security like made me think of this in terms of the flock cameras too.
Yep.
We talked about it, have talked about it multiple times, is the signature strike.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the signature strike makes it sound like, oh, that they got somebody specific that they're going after, like they, et cetera. But we found that what a signature strike was they tracked somebody's cell phone and it behaved in a way that could be suspiciously considered a terrorist movement pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they dropped a bomb on the person.
Yeah.
Without even knowing who it was.
No evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without even knowing who it was. And I think the example I gave at the time is like, okay, you're driving to work. When you got in the car, your cell phone fell out of your pocket, it fell down into the side, like underneath your seat or whatever.
Yeah.
You realize at some point that you don't have your cell phone with you.
Yeah.
And so you're like patting your pocket, you can't find it. You're like, okay, well, maybe it fell out and fell under the seat.
Yeah.
And so you pull over to the side of the road, you stop.
Yeah.
You search around, you can't find it.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, I left my cell phone at home. I got to go back and get it. So you turn around and you start heading back.
Yeah.
Then you hear it beep under the seat.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, there's a cell phone. When I get to work, I'll just pull the seat back. I'll get it when I get to work.
Yeah.
So you turn back around, start heading back to work again.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that would be interpreted from the people that are looking for somebody to hit with a signature strike as counter surveillance measures.
Yeah.
Like you start going one way, you turn around, you backtrack, you start heading back that direction again. Like this is all very suspicious.
Yeah.
Totally like normal issue that came up.
Yeah.
But
it looks like you're trying to duck a tail.
But now you're talking about flock cameras that are tracking all your movements, like where your car is going and so forth.
Yeah.
Like at what point, I mean, we hope that obviously that the government never institutes the kind of thing like that at home.
Yeah.
But you don't know they won't.
Well, no.
They keep stepping over farther and farther.
Even if they don't drop a bomb on you, it could very easily be used to, well, we need to stop that guy and talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's more realistically what I think it would turn into is like cars been driving around the neighborhood erratically, going to weird places. It's been to the same house 3 times this week.
Yeah.
Let's just see we're going to do a traffic stop and see what's going on.
Yeah. And we'll knock on the door of that house too.
Yeah. Maybe
you know what? We know who the owner of that car is, so we're going to go ahead and put him on the no-fly list too.
Yeah. Exactly. Like that's where this type of thing is heading. I mean, China's already there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not China's.
I know, man, this is one of those things that drives me crazy from politicians and normal people is this like, oh, well, China's doing this thing. Like, it seems like a good idea. No, I don't want to be like China.
Yeah, no, obviously that's the point I was making. I don't want that to be misconstrued as we need to convert to China. But the example is solid. Like, we don't want, the whole idea is we don't want to be living in a surveillance state like they are in China.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not who we are. So,
okay. So
anyway,
now actually moving to international security.
Yeah.
So the new thing is the economic D-Day. We're starting the economic D-Day on Iran.
So is that like decision day, or like we're storming the
we're storming the beaches,
storming
but we're
the
not.
beaches? Okay.
So Scott Bessent did like an 8-minute press thing, 10-minute, 15-minute, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Long. It felt long.
It felt long, yeah. Well,
Press briefing the other day about that we're instituting new sanctions. We're promoting other nations to participate in these sanctions.
Man, I can't believe we haven't ever thought about doing this.
I know. They've been under sanctions for 50 years.
Right? Like, this time is going to be different.
As long as the Islamic Republic of Iran has existed, they've been under sanctions. Since 1979, they've been under sanctions.
Yeah.
You'll remember that in Trump's first term, it was the maximum pressure campaign on Iran after he voluntarily exited the JCPOA.
Yep.
Then it became the maximum pressure campaign on Iran, which was just a whole bunch of economic sanctions. We're trying to break their economy.
Yeah.
And we don't care about the people that live there. If they starve to death, so what? I mean, even Bessent was talking about they've got 170, 180% food inflation.
Yeah.
Do we feel good about that? Really? I mean, like, is that what we want to do as a nation? Is starve people to death in another country because we don't like their government?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, leaving that aside. So, I did get this really great clip from former ambassador Chaz Freeman.
Okay.
He appears here and there. He's kind of an outsider because he's a realist.
Yeah.
I think is the reason. Okay, so to me, he's a lot like Mearsheimer, except this is a guy who spent 30 years working for the U.S. Foreign Service. He's not an academic. He's a guy that was out there.
He was in the fields. Yeah.
And just to give you like a little bit of a background on him, he was the ambassador to Saudi Arabia in the early 90s with the first Gulf War. Okay. Like, he was the ambassador to Saudi Arabia while we were prosecuting the first Gulf War.
Yeah.
He was the principal interpreter on Nixon's 1972 visit to China.
Okay.
He's actually like he speaks Chinese, obviously, because he was an interpreter on that and so forth. He worked at both the State Department in as like one of the top dogs in the China division, and also at the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, as I think he was the deputy assistant at that place, or like the second in command at the Beijing Embassy when he was there, or part of the time that he was there.
Yeah.
This was mostly through the 80s. Yeah. And so I just want to play this. I'm pretty sure it's less than 2 minutes. This clip from him talking about these new sanctions.
All right.
So here we go.
Well, what they're going to accomplish with Iran is very little, if anything. Let's remember that these are unilateral sanctions by the United States. They have no status under international law. No other country is obliged legally to respect and implement them. And we don't have any trade or financial relationships with Iran to sanction. So these sanctions are entirely secondary sanctions. That is to say, we're trying to regulate the trade of third countries with Iran. And third countries are not behind this war. The war is deeply unpopular, not just in the United States, but around the world. So asking everyone in the world to line up behind the United States with economic pressure on Iran, especially while we ourselves are conducting a blockade of energy supplies from the Persian Gulf, is simply not going to get anywhere. We've seen this most clearly in the statement from the Chinese spokesman, who said, China respects international law. It does not regard bullying and unilateral measures as acceptable, and it will not alter its relations with Iran to please the United States. I suspect many of our allies will take the same stance. So the net effect of this is very likely to accelerate the demise of the dollar and the rise of the Chinese currency, the yuan, and to break more of the world economy out of our control because it will bypass transactions settled in dollars.
Yeah, this is very dangerous what we're threatening to do here. I mean, Robbie had kind of said something about this on Part of the Problem. Like, what we're more or less threatening to do here is destroy our currency to go after Iran. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we're really kind of laying it all out on the line here over this.
Yeah. Well, there's some really important points in there. One is that we don't have any trade with them. Yeah. So new sanctions doesn't mean that we're doing anything else ourselves to strangle their economy, that we are threatening other nations not to do business with them.
Yeah. I mean, we're basically going to sanction anybody that does business with them.
Right. The Chinese response that we don't recognize bullying as a legitimate form of diplomacy. This is actually one of the important things about Ambassador Freeman's outlook that puts him kind of on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Is that, like, one of the things that he's always stressed, or maybe not always, is that the U.S. mistakes military power as political or diplomatic leverage.
Yeah.
And this has, of course, been one of our big complaints about this administration, and his too. But just like us, he also would say that's not a problem with this administration. It is a problem with the way the U.S. conducts foreign policy back through many administrations.
Yeah.
That we
it's been
believe
a long road to get here.
Yeah. That it is a mistake to think that we can just use our military power to bully people around and get our way.
Yeah.
That you still need actual diplomacy.
Yep. Yeah.
That you need to try and get along with people. That you need to recognize that they have interests too.
Yeah. And I mean, he really laid it out very eloquently. I enjoyed that clip.
Yeah. This is one of those things that's like, I want to say this, but I can't say this as well as he did.
Yeah. That's where I'm at, because like he really laid it out.
Yeah.
But we're really, I'll just say it again, we're putting a lot on the line here over Iran. And it doesn't, like, are we really willing to risk collapsing the dollar over this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because all it takes is for these other countries to stop using the dollars.
Yeah.
And that's already going on.
And this is a situation where it is a very unpopular war, both internationally and at home. Why would you risk all this on that?
It's not worth it.
We've
already given up too much with where we're at today.
Yeah. Even Scott Bessent understands this. You know what? Let's just play a clip.
Let's do it.
I'm going to have to pump this up a bit because the recording I got was really quiet. They just didn't have anything mic'd well.
Yeah.
I hope that you can hear the question. If you can't hear the question, you know what? We'll just cut the question out. I'll tell you what the question is, essentially.
All right.
The reporter asks him, we referred to this as an economic D-Day, but D-Day wasn't a threat of an invasion. It was the actual day that we invaded. And in this case, these sanctions are just a threat for the time being. We haven't actually instituted any sanctions. We've just said that we will, and we haven't said when or what exactly that they'll be either.
Yeah.
It's just this kind of vague threat that we're throwing out there. And this is... So the question is that, economic D-Day, D-Day wasn't a threat of an invasion. It was an actual invasion, but we're just making threats. Here we haven't even given a timeline. What's the reason for that? Why aren't we instituting these sanctions today?
Exactly.
And this is Bessent's response.
All right.
Well, we are giving everyone the opportunity to remedy bad behavior. Why would I want to blow up the global financial system? We believe that it is important to level set and give people a cure period, but they should know that that will move very quickly and that we are serious. Secondary sanctions are a very powerful tool.
Okay, and remember, this is our Treasury Secretary.
Yeah.
And here's the most important thing that he said in there to me, is he said, well, I don't want to blow up the financial system.
Yeah, which is what we're threatening to do here.
Yeah, and he knows it.
Yeah, it's not even like we're not aware. Like, I mean, and it's scary because, I mean, he talks about like, we're serious here, like blah, blah, we're willing to do this. And it's like, it
for what?
Yeah. What do we have to gain here? Like, it's just like, look at the situation and tell me that, make the argument to me that this is worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see it.
Yeah. Well, we have to prevent Iran from controlling the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah. Which they didn't control till we started this anyway.
Well, I mean, they did, but they
wasn't
weren't
a problem.
Yeah. They weren't inhibiting the flow of energy through there at all because it's to their benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. And if
like, remember market incentives.
Yeah.
Like, this is I mean, at this point, you've like threatened to destroy their nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that puts market incentives out the window. This is one of those things, right? Like that Trump doesn't seem to understand is that there's a real difference when you're negotiating with businesses than when you're negotiating with nations.
Yeah.
Right? Businesses, the financial incentive is the most important.
Yeah.
Like, you can put enough pressure on a business that they will give up power and influence for money.
Yeah.
Because that's actually their goal is to
make the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nations, that's not the goal. Power and influence is the goal for a nation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't reach a point where you can just trade them off money for power and influence. They want the power and influence. And so the problem comes where you think that you can threaten them into giving that up. That's the only thing that they're there for.
Yeah.
They're not giving it up.
Yeah. And I think Iran's going to end up with more of it when this is over than they had before.
Yeah, because all they had to do was assert themselves.
Yeah.
And you can talk about how you've destroyed their army and their navy and their air force. Yeah, it's true.
That's true. Yeah.
But they still have missiles, and they can still defend that strait.
They can still.
I mean, they turned a ship around that was
ladder.
being escorted by U.S. Navy just the other day.
Yeah, yeah. And there's not anything we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is such a mess. I just don't understand how I don't understand how Trump, like, I know how it can be fixed if we just like walk away.
Yeah.
But Trump is not capable.
Yeah. Declare victory, man. We destroyed their army and navy and they won't have nuclear weapons ever.
The problem is Iran just refuses to let him declare victory.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I mean,
because at this point, they have an advantage by just keeping this going.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, they know that they can wait us out longer than we can wait them out. And they're right. I mean, they can. And this, all Trump is trying to do is find a way to change the realities. And I just, so far he hasn't found one. Maybe he'll figure one out, but I worry what he figures out just collapses our economy. Or destroys the dollar. Like, I mean, well,
he's been for a businessman, he's been surprisingly a real economic disaster for this nation.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those things that when Mom asked me what I didn't like about him, that was one of the things I said.
Yeah.
Now, all of it comes around as just this kind of bullying, but it's the tariffs and like all this other stuff, all these barriers to free trade. And it may be that the U.S. has the kind of economic power that this thing works out in the long run. Maybe. And if it does, then great.
But you're absolutely rolling the dice, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question that that's a dice roll, you know, and you hope you come out on the right side of it.
Yeah,
but,
and at least in the meantime, you know, he's like, you may have some, like, it may be a little difficult. Some prices may go up a little bit, but this is the thing, is this is a man who has always been rich.
Yeah.
Like, he's never been in a position where he really wanted for anything.
And his family is going to walk away from this presidency very rich.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to get into all of that other than to just throw that out there.
Yeah, that's true.
That, these economic problems he's causing for this country, him and his family are never going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Not in the way me and you are dealing with it.
Right. And people on the margins, though, this is the difference between eating or not.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is like we already went through a massive inflation under Biden, and Trump ran on fixing that. I know it seems crazy now to look back, but he campaigned on bringing prices down.
Yeah. And he did to some degree.
Where?
Well, he did at the beginning before we launched this war.
Maybe. I mean,
gas prices, gas prices are down from where they were when he took over.
There was gas, and there was the stuff with the eggs and some of that.
A lot of food prices.
A lot of food. You're right. I forget about that. Mm-hmm. But all of that's been lost now.
Well, the irony of the whole thing, though, is that he caused a lot of that in the first place, too, because he was the one that first started printing money in COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then Biden was more than happy to continue.
Yeah.
Which put us where we're at now, where, just like you say, like people are hurting out there. Like I'm amongst them. Like
me too.
I've
been moving money from savings.
Yeah. Like the price increases is a problem, and it's not. This war only makes it worse. And the truth is kind of should have seen this coming. I mean, we knew Trump was going to use tariffs, and tariffs make prices go up. Like this, just part of economics,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it really sucks because we need policy that's going to fix some of these problems, and we're not getting any of it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to.
Yeah.
And we're not going to. Like it's,
They're just too disconnected from any kind of normal life in America. Everybody that gets elected at this level is just too disconnected from any kind of normal life in America.
Yeah.
Like, and for those of you on the left that are just like, oh, well, but we have the Bernies and the AOCs. They don't get it either.
It's just as bad.
AOC has been enough removed from her life as a bartender that she doesn't know what it's like anymore.
No.
I promise you.
No.
She is worth way more than she was when she took this job.
Yeah, 100%. And
took this role.
Yeah, and it wouldn't matter in either way because as far as that side's policies aren't going to make anything better.
Yeah, well, they have a real confidence in government being able to fix things.
Yeah, which we talked about at the beginning. Yeah. So, which brings us full circle.
All right, so let's go ahead and close it out then.
Yeah. So.
With the clips, it'll be an hour.
Yep.
I think. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, it was good to be back. Should be good for next week.
And I think, all right. So you've got a job to do between now and next week.
Yes, I do.
Find out what kind of school costs there are for younger kids.
Finding out about the school thing. Yep.
I've got a note that I was going to point out in this episode originally, but I decided before we even got started that probably needed to be moved to next week. Yeah. And I think next week is going to be a concentration on social media.
Yeah. That's worth talking about.
And the damage that it's done to us as a culture.
Yeah. Whew. Well, that's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it might be a double episode. Who knows?
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be a full episode with a bunch of follow-ups in the next one.
Yeah. Well, we've never really gotten away from it. So, I mean, this is a thing that comes up from time to time. I don't think that there's any way to exaggerate kind of the damage that has been done to people by significant interaction on social media. This is why I stay away from it.
Yeah. I don't know that I shared it to the page. I think I shared it into a group, and I may share it to the page this week. But I had a meme about, we should have left the internet in the computer room.
Yeah.
And it was a picture of like the 90s where you had the little computer room, and that's That's what we should. That was the right way. Like, we don't need the internet in our pocket.
Okay, you remember the like weird horror film that we watched, The Wolf of Snow Hollow?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The writer, director, and lead actor in that is the same guy.
Yeah.
And I think it's Jim Cummings. I was trying to look it up. I can't look it up fast enough to make it worthwhile, but I'm pretty sure that it's Jim Cummings is the guy's name.
Yeah.
And it's all he's done 3 now films that are independent.
Okay.
One of them was called Thunder Road. I haven't seen that one, but he's a cop in that one actually too.
Yeah.
Everybody should watch The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Yeah,
it comes up on like Tubi and things like that for free all the time.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic comedy. This guy has this real knack for being able to he's not like telling jokes. Like, it's definitely a comedy, but it is dark.
Yeah.
And the comedy comes from watching this guy fall apart psychologically.
Yeah.
Really.
He loses it. Yeah.
And he does this really great job of being both dramatic and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe it except that you just have to watch it. It is wonderful. It is so funny.
Feels like it should be in a genre of its own.
Yeah, it's so funny and uncomfortable, and
because when you said horror, I was like, that wasn't a horror. I mean,
it's a werewolf film.
I can see how it could be classified that way, but that, in my mind, that's not a horror movie.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a werewolf film.
It is.
It's one of the best werewolf films I've ever seen. Actually, it's great, and he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's Jim Cummings. I'm sticking with that. That could be wrong though.
Yeah.
So he has a newer film out called The Beta Test.
Okay.
And I haven't seen it, but I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
This one's also available on Tubi right now. I promise you, this podcast is not sponsored by Tubi. It's just one of my favorite.
It just happens to have a lot of good free
streaming
movies.
service. Yeah, exactly. But there's like in the trailer, there's this part where he's just has this like complete breakdown.
Yeah.
And he's like rolling on the road talking about how bad the internet is and how he wished he could just go back to the 90s before all this.
Yeah.
That like you laugh and you also feel bad for this guy at the same time because he has this great ability to be both funny and dramatic at the same time.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see this. If nobody wants to go out with us on Tuesday, maybe that's what we do instead.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that'd be interesting. There's definitely a yearning for people. I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia for the 90s because of just that. Like, everybody wasn't walking around staring at a screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because when I shared that, like some people in the comments section were like, well, nobody's stopping you, nobody's saying you got to carry your phone around. And that's true. But it's not the same as it's changed society in a monolithic way.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Monumental, I think would probably be a better word.
Probably what I meant to say.
Yeah. It's true. Oh.
Yeah, it's pestering me too. Sorry, there's a fly, and it's done.
It's like
buzzed.
a little fruit fly or whatever.
Yeah, it's done buzzed me.
I thought I got him that time, but I see him now. He's done for.
The end is here.
He's tougher than I thought. All right.
I thought he was going to take you.
It's one of those things it's become this like device that you can't live with and can't live without, right?
Yeah.
And you know me, like I'm bad about leaving my phone places.
Yeah.
Like if so my car, my phone is my key to my car. So
that's so inconvenient for you.
No, it's fantastic.
Is it?
Because I can't leave a place without my phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If I'm driving.
Yeah.
But because you drive often when we go out to eat after this. Or your wife drives when we go out on Tuesdays and what have you.
Yeah.
Like I leave my phone places all the time. Like I'm really bad about walking out of wherever I am and leaving the phone on the table.
Exactly.
Because I just don't think about it that much.
Yeah. when we leave here at night, I always make sure you get into the house because I'm like, oh, well, if he left his phone in here, he has no way to contact us because he has no phone. He has no way to crank his car because he doesn't have a. So he's
I
like
appreciate that.
stranded.
I'm glad you know me that well.
Yes, that is absolutely something we do every time. So I'm like, well, at least if he made it into the house, he has shelter.
Well, on that embarrassing little tidbit, we'll go ahead and close out the show, I guess. All right. Well, so you can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean. Did you put anything up about like suggestions of how we could change this?
I didn't, and I meant to.
Okay.
But it didn't happen.
Man, we had 2 weeks.
I know, right? There's this big window there.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that'll go up this week.
We'll see.
You can always email me, Michael at the Liberty Mike. I'm interested in people's suggestions of how we can like freshen this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I need something a little different.
Yeah, I get it.
Like one of the things that we talked about was just spending like the first half of the show talking about some new stuff and spending the second half of the show talking about whatever I'm into at the moment.
And I think that's a solid plan. I'd like to get feedback on that.
Which is probably some book or whatever, but...
Yeah, but I think that's a good way to do it. Have first and second half a show.
Yeah.
You know, and make second half very open, like as far as topics or things going on or whatever. You know.
Or just ideas that are in.
Yeah, ideas is like the best one. Like,
yeah.
So.
Well, that's where I spend much of my life. So.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so yeah, suggestions are appreciated. Like I said, Michael at the Liberty Mike, if you want to send it to me directly. Hopefully, Gary gets something up on the Facebook page this week.
Yep.
Just asking for suggestions about how we can, like, what are y'all interested in, I guess?
Yeah.
That's the big question. And if it's something that I'm interested in too, then
maybe we can move forward with that.
Then maybe that's what we do.
Yeah.
But it needs some kind of change. We've been doing this for a long time, and it feels stale to me. And it's kind of amazing that I've done like 7 years like this because I don't really have that kind of attention span, generally speaking. So I have really enjoyed this, and I do still enjoy this, but I feel like we need some kind of change.
Yeah, I'd agree.
To keep me motivated. Exactly. And so anyway, but we will be back next week when we finally get this right. And in the meantime, try to stay free.
Life short, live free.
Ciao.
Later.